Korean verbs. Oh, hey, I didn't see you there. Today, if you couldn't tell already, we're going to be talking about Korean verbs. And this is a very, very exciting presentation because this will be sort of that first building block towards sentence creation. So this is very exciting, and I spent a lot of time and went a little crazy on the designs for this slide, as you will see, or for this presentation, as you will see shortly, because I really wanted to make it clear and very visual for you, because I think that this is a very important step in your Korean language journey, and I am very thankful and honored that you have allowed me to get you this far in your learning, your language acquisition process. So yes, without further ado, let's get rolling. All right, so before we can move on into the verbs, we need to first distinguish between the two types of speech in Korean language. So first there is 존댓말, which is like formal speech, and then 반말, which is the casual speech. So let's take a look at 존댓말 first. 존대 literally means to treat someone with respect. This comes from 존경하다. 존경하다 is to respect, and then 대하다 means to treat someone or something a certain way. And then the primary forms of 존댓말 is the 여 form or 씁니다, 은니다 form. So I wrote those out there. Those are just like the sentence endings, so you'll see more examples of those later on. But those are going to be the two main forms that you'll see in practice there. And then 반말, if we look at the right-hand side of the screen, 반 means half. And then 말 means speech. So just like with 존댓말, we saw treating someone with respect, speech, right? And then this 반말 is half speech. So you can remember that this is the casual form because it is literally translated as half speech. So sort of taking it down a notch. Hopefully that will help you remember that this is the casual form in Korean. So the primary forms of 반말 is literally just the removal of yo from the 존댓말 form. So it would just be 여 instead of with that extra yo at the end. All right, so first we need to understand the dictionary form of a verb. So all verbs start out in the da form. This is known as the dictionary form and needs to be changed for use in a sentence. So for example, if we look on the right-hand side of the screen, we can see that all of those verbs end with da, right? 하다 means to do. So it's just adding that to in front to make it the verb structure. So 가다, to go, 오다, to come, 먹다, to eat, and 살다, to live. 살다. So all of them come in the dictionary form like that. Literally, it's called dictionary form because when you look verbs up into the dictionary, they all look like this. Da, 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 da. So as we'll see in the next slide, the very first thing you have to do to conjugate these verbs is to drop da. So rules for conjugating: number 1, always drop the da. And then number 2 is you add the appropriate ending. And then that's it, you're good to go, and you have just conjugated into present tense. So let's look at some of those verb endings so that we can see so that we can sort of get a sense of what the appropriate endings would be for various verbs. So for example, if the verb ends, so we're talking about after we dropped da. So for example, like we can see on the top right-hand side, I used the verb 가다, which means to go, right? So after we drop da, we take it out, then we only are left with 가, right? Before the conjugation. So now, if we look at our first rule for verb endings, if the verb ends with the vowels o or a, then add ayo to the ending. So because ka ends with a, right, we have 기억 and a, then usually we would add ayo. But because it would be pronounced kaayo, then we don't have any like necessity to add the extra a because we are already saying it. So we actually just say kayo for ease of pronunciation. So kayo is the formal form of to go. So when you conjugate the verb kada into kayo, you're changing it from to go into I go or you go, we go. So you literally just made a sentence by conjugating that verb, kayo. And then if the verb stem after you dropped da ends with anything other than o or a, then you add oyo to the ending. And then finally, the third rule is just applicable to ha. You add yo, which just creates heyo. So I'm sure you've heard the word like 사랑해요. 사랑하다 is the verb meaning to love. 사랑하다 is to love, and they conjugated that to 사랑해요. I love you, or you love something, right? And then in order to make that casual, all you need to do is drop yo. So 사랑해, right? Instead of 사랑해요, now we have 사랑해. So if we look at the right side of the screen for the examples that I have selected, so to go is 가다. The formal form after we drop da and we add ayo is just 가요. And then the casual form, if you're talking to like your friends or someone younger than you, is just ka. So you literally just drop the yo. The next example we can see is 하다, which means to do. And like we saw in that rule number 3, we literally just make that 해요. And then the casual form would be 해. Okay, so this applies to not just 하다, but anything that ends with the ha, sort of after the as the verb stem. So for example, 노력하다 means to put in effort. So I can say 노력해요. Like I'm trying, I'm putting in effort as a sentence. And then 노력해 is like put in effort. To if you're speaking casually, you just drop the yo. And then for that one at the bottom, I use the word 먹다. 먹다 means to eat. So it's obviously a very important thing, and we can see that it does not, the final vowel in that verb form after we dropped da is o, right? Because mium and kiot are consonants, right? So we're looking at the final vowel is o, which means that we're going to add oyo, right? So the formal form, meaning just I eat, you eat, we eat, is 먹어요. And then you just drop the yo if you want to make it casual, 판말. Then you say 먹어. Cool. If you have any questions about that, please feel free to put a comment down below. I'm hoping that even if my explanation was sort of confusing, that I have mapped everything out here pretty clearly for you guys. So yeah, with that, we will continue on. Just a brief note here, adjectives in Korean are actually treated the exact same way as verbs with conjugation. So this is like one of my favorite things about Korean, is that it just makes everything seem simpler because there's no separate rules for adjectives versus verbs and things like that. So you conjugate them exactly the same way, and they also start off in exactly the same form with the da form. So, for example, 예쁘다 means to be pretty. 예쁘다. So if we remove da, then we have right, is the last vowel that we're left with. So we're left with 예쁘 if we take away da, right? Which is not a thing that you would say to someone. So since that is not o or a, we add 어요, right? So 예뻐요, 예뻐요. And then if we want to make it casual, we just say 예뻐, 예뻐. To be small is 작다, 작다. So since the last vowel there is a, then we make it 작아요, 작아요. And then we remove yo for the casual form, which would be 작아. And then to be smart is 똑똑하다. So remember there's the double digut, which has kind of like a more punching sound when you say it. So 똑똑, 똑똑하다. And then when you want to tell someone, oh, you're smart, or that's so smart, you say 똑똑해요. Remember the 하다 form is the third rule that we have, where you just add 여요 to make 해요. So 똑똑해요, 똑똑해. 너는 너무 똑똑해. You are very smart. 너는 너무 똑똑해. So let's take a look at some more sentence examples, shall we? 오늘 도서관에 가요? 오늘 도서관에 가요? So 오늘 means today. And then 도서관 is library. And then 에 is the location marking particle. And 가요 comes from 가다. So this is an actual sentence that you would see. And again, this is the perfect sort of sentence that you can take out the word 도서관 and replace with any location that you want to say. So are you going to the cafe today? You can use the word 카페. 오늘 카페에 가요? 카페에 가요? You can replace it with what's something else. Are you going to the market today? Market is 시장. So you can say 오늘 시장에 가요? 시장에 가요? And then if you want to make this, again, I think I talked about this before, but with Korean questions and sentences, there's not a, at least with the yo form, there's no like distinction between that you have to make with the actual verb. So you could literally change this question into a statement by just changing the question mark into a period. So if I said 오늘 도서관에 가요, I'm saying I will go or I'm going to the library today. So it makes it a statement rather than a question. And again, with Korean, you guys probably know already, but you do not have to say you don't have to say the pronouns like we do all the time in English. Like, I'm going to the store, I'm going to the library, are you going to the library? If the subject or topic is clear to both, if it's understood by both the speaker and listener, then it doesn't need to be said. It can be omitted and the sentence is still perfectly grammatically correct. So you can literally just say 오늘 도서관에 가요? Today, library go, and the person will understand that you are asking them if they are going to the library. 빨리 오세요. 빨리 means quickly, and then 오세요 is from 오다, which means to come. So we talked about 주세요 before, right? 주세요 means please give me something. That comes from the verb 주다, right? So in this case, 오세요. So if you add 세요 to something, it just means please do something. Please come, please go. If you took 하다 and you made it 하세요, then it means please do, right? So 빨리 오세요. The reason I chose to include this sentence is because this is one of those sort of, what's it called? It's one of those sort of set phrases that you can hear a lot. 빨리 오세요. 빨리 와요. O, 아, plus 요. So 빨리 와요 is just the regular 존댓말 form as well. So yeah, you can definitely hear this a lot, so it is one to remember. 저는 농구를 해요. 저는 농구를 해요. 저 is I, 농구 is basketball, and then 해요 comes from 하다, conjugated, right? So I can say I play basketball. 저는 농구를 해요. Cool? And then this is another thing, you can literally just factor out the 농구 and replace it with something else that you like to do. You just might have to keep in mind that the might become an depending on if the word that you select ends in a consonant, then you will have to change it to after. So for example, if I like playing baseball, right? Baseball is 야구. So I can say 저는 야구를 해요. I play baseball. So it's literally just taking out that part of the word and adding in another thing. So Korean is really good language for that sort of template style learning. 많이 먹어요. This is my favorite thing to hear. The most beautiful thing to my ears is 많이 먹어요. So 많이 means a lot or many, and then 먹어요 comes from 먹다, which means to eat. So it means literally eat a lot, but this is one of those phrases you'll hear a lot. It just means enjoy the meal. So when a Korean person tells you 많이 먹어요, they're not literally saying eat everything in this room, eat like a ton of things. That's sort of just one of their phrases that they say to tell you they hope you enjoy the meal. So 많이 먹어요. They're just being polite to you when they are serving you or when you're a guest at their house. This is definitely a sentence you will want to remember. 어디 살아요? 살다 means to live, and then when it's conjugated, it's 살아요, and then 어디 means where. So 어디 살아요 is where do you live? So you can use 살다 a lot to describe where you're from too. Like I can say I live in America, so America is 미국, and I can say 미국에 살아요. I live in America. 미국에 살아요. 어디 살아요? 미국에 살아요. Or 저는 미국에 살아요. So you can always add the 저는 or 너는, 당신은. You can add those pronouns if you want, but again, if it's clear between the speaker and listener who the subject or topic of the sentence is, you don't really have to say it again. Good work today. 오늘 수고했어요. Please go back and watch these again. If there were any points of confusion for you, please leave a comment or shoot me an email if there's anything that you still have questions about. I will be happy to answer those for you. Hopefully this was a nice introduction for you on verbs in the present tense. And next week we are going to dive right into past tense. So please, please, please make sure that you have a good foundation in present tense, or that you at least are understanding and practicing with some different verbs that you find before jumping into the next video on past tense. So yeah, with that, I will see you in another video next week, and I hope everyone stays happy and healthy. 다음에 봐요.